Okay, this is the Walls of Jericho take two. Um, I messed up on the last video. I'm gonna take it down from YouTube as soon as I finish this video right here. Um, what happened was I was saying that and I'm gonna make sure I get it down right now and get it down from now until the end of the video. And I was saying that the Israelites walked around the city once every 6 days. That's once a week. They walked around the city once every day for 6 days. There's a huge difference. Okay, so that's where I messed up. Okay, so it's a long, hefty story. Well, the verses are hefty. These are real meaty verses, and it's 27 verses long. It's the whole chapter of chapter 6 of Joshua. So here we go. Okay, now Jericho was straitly shut up because of the children of Israel. None went out and none came in. So what's going on is basically the city of Jericho is under a blockade, to put it in layman's terms. They're the children of Israel have blockaded that city. No one can come in and no one can go out. Um, and then the Lord said unto Joshua, See, I have given into thine hand Jericho, and the king thereof, and the mighty men of valor. And ye shall compass the city, all ye men of war, and go round about the city once. Thus shalt thou do 6 days. See, they go around the city once every day for 6 days. That's what verse 3 says. And 7 priests shall bear before the ark 7 trumpets of ram's horns. And the 7th day ye shall compass the city 7 times, and the priest shall blow with the trumpets. Okay, so on the 7th day, it's going to be different. On the 7th day, they're going to go around the city 7 times. And after they finish going around the city, the priests are going to blow on the trumpets that are made from horns. That's what verse 4 is saying. Verse 5. And it shall come to pass that when they make a long blast with the ram's horn, and when ye hear the sound of the trumpet, all the people shall shout with a great shout, and the wall of the city shall fall down flat, and the people shall ascend up and up, every man straight before him. So when the priests sound the trumpets, the people of Israel are to shout along with the trumpets. Just shout. And at that time, the walls of Jericho are gonna come tumbling down and fall flat. And then they're gonna run through the open part where the walls of Jericho came tumbling down. And Joshua the son of Nun called the priest and said unto them, Take up the ark of the covenant, and let 7 priests bear trumpets of ram's horns before the Lord, the ark of the Lord. The ark of the Lord is the ark of the covenant. It's the ark of the covenant. That's the ark of the covenant is what Moses made to put the 10 Commandments in. I think that's where the 10 Commandments were. It was also where the presence of God was. God was in the ark of the covenant, and they carried it around and everything. And he said unto the people, Pass on and compass the city, and let him that is armed pass on before the ark of the Lord. And it came to pass, when Joshua had spoken unto the people, that the 7 priests bearing the 7 trumpets of ram's horns passed on before the Lord and blew the trumpets, and the ark of the covenant of the Lord followed them. So the people went in first when the walls came down, and then the ark of the covenant came in last and followed them. And the armed men went before the priest that blew the trumpets, and the rearward came after the ark. Rear reward. And I don't even know what that means. I'm not even sure if I can find it on Google. Okay, this is verse 9. I'm gonna see what comes up on Google when I look up rear reward. Thinking it has something to do with the rear. Rear reward. Oh, it came up. The backside of an army, the forces at the rear. So it's the last line of defense of an army. Man, I'm glad I looked that up. In the last video, I didn't look it up. I was just grabbing at straws as to what it meant. Let me go over that again. And the armed men went before the priest that blew the trumpets, and the rear reward came after the ark, the priest going on and blowing with the trumpets. And Joshua had commanded the people, saying, Ye shall not shout, nor make any noise with your voice, neither shall any word proceed out of your mouth, until the day that I bid you shout, then shall you shout. So everything that I just read up to verse 9, it hasn't happened yet. God is telling them what's going to happen. This is going to happen. You're going to do exactly as I say. The walls are going to come tumbling down after the trumpets blow and y'all shout. And this is how y'all going to proceed into the city. First, the Israelites are going to go in. What was it? The priest that went in first? Well, anyway, it's going to be a very organized invasion of the city. It's not just going to be like a bunch of screaming kids. You know, the Ark of the Covenant's going to go in last, blah, blah, blah. It's going to be an organized formation and everything. That's what God is telling them. And Joshua is saying, look here in verse 10. And Joshua had commanded the people, saying, Ye shall not shout, nor make any noise with your voice, neither shall any word proceed out of your mouth, until the day that I bid you shout, then shall you shout. So every time they go around the city, they're not to say anything. They're not to make a peep. They're not. They're going around the city in silence. It's the power of silence. You know, it's a beautiful thing. It's also very powerful. And I mean, if you put yourself in the people of Jericho's place, you know, I'm sure that they thought that the Israelites were losing it. You know, kind of crazy. I'm sure they were mocking the Israelites and you know, possibly even throwing rocks at them and just mocking them. But the Israelites, you know, stayed following the command from Joshua. And Joshua was the prophet of the day. He was the warrior prophet. The word was given to him by God to command the Israelites to stay silent until he commands them to shout. And that's what's going on here. And they walked around the city in silence, once every day for 6 days, and 7 times on the seventh day. And they didn't shout until the trumpets blew. That's discipline. That's, you know, I mean, they didn't even so much talk to each other, nothing. They just marched in silence. Kind of eerie, right? Wow. Okay, verse 11. So the ark of the Lord compassed the city, going about it once, and they came into the night camp and lodged in the camp. And Joshua rose early in the morning, and the priests took up the ark of the Lord. And the 7 priests, bearing 7 trumpets of ram's horns before the ark of the Lord, went out continually. and blew with the trumpets, and the armed men went before them. But the real reward came after the ark of the Lord, and the priests going on and blowing with the trumpets. And the second day they compassed the city once, and returned into the camps. So they did 6 days. And it came to pass the seventh day that they rose early about the city after the same manner 7 times. Only on that day they encompassed the city 7 times. So verse 15 says, on the seventh day they woke up early. Man, they knew that today was the day. Today was the day that the walls were going to come down, and they've been preparing for this. They've been following orders, and they knew today was the day that they were going to have their they were going to invade the city of Jericho when the walls came down. They woke up early. I mean, to me, when I wake up early and I start my day, I go out and I get a good breakfast. But I know what it's like to be on a mission in the military, in the Marines. You know, you on the day of operation whatever that will be completed, you wake up early. You strap on your boots, knowing that today's the day we're gonna have our field day. Yeah. Verse 16. And it came to pass in the seventh time, when the priests blew with the trumpets, Joshua said unto the people, shout, for the Lord hath given you the city. Man, the tension that must have been built up, that, I mean, they weren't so much speaking to each other. And now Joshua commanded them, shout now. And they shouted along with the trumpets blowing. Man, I mean, they were shouting for victory. Yeah, I mean, people like go to a Dallas game or a football game, and they shout when their winning team, when their team makes a touchdown. But that can't hold a candle to this shouting. It brought down the walls of Jericho. I mean, yeah. Anyway, and so, verse 17. And the city shall be accursed, even it, and all that therein, to the Lord. Only Rahab the harlot shall live, she and all that are with her in the house, because she hid the messengers that we sent. Joshua is commanding them that only the harlot Rahab shall be saved. The story of Rahab is that I don't know if it's in the chapter previous to chapter 6 of Joshua, but before Joshua and the Israelites even got to Jericho, he sent 2 spies to Jericho to spy it out, and the spies almost got caught, and it was Rahab that saved them. It was Rahab that took the spies into her house, or her abode, whatever, and hid the spies. I think she hid them on the roof of her house underneath some palm branches. I think that's how the story goes. And so the spies told her, you know what, for this you're gonna be saved. Let us know what sign. Let us know what give us a sign so we'll know not to invade your house. And she decided, you know what, I'm gonna hang a scarlet rope or scarf or something, scarlet something. I think it was a scarlet rope from her window or roof. And when the Israelites saw that scarlet rope, they knew not to invade that house. All the other houses were invaded except for Rahab the harlot. And just to give you a spoiler alert, Rahab and Joshua marry in the end. Yeah. and they continue on. And this is Jesus's bloodline, actually. Rahab and Joshua. And Pastor Joe Osteen, he went into and he went into that, and his point was that Rahab was a harlot, and she was still in Jesus' bloodline. And the point that he was making was that anyone can be anointed, and you just got to believe that you're in right standing with God. It's never too late to be forgiven. It's never too late to be anointed. You know what I mean? Just um, yeah, yeah. Just give up your foolish ways, and it's never too late. Okay, so that's the story of Rahab. And ye in any wise, this is verse 18, and ye in any wise keep yourselves from the accursed thing, lest ye make yourselves accursed when ye take of the accursed thing and make the camp of Israel curse and trouble it. But all the silver and gold and vessels of brass and iron are consecrated unto the Lord. They shall come into the treasury of the Lord. So the people shouted when the priest blew the trumpets, and it came to pass when the people heard the sound of the trumpet, and the people shouted with a great shout, that the people fell down flat, that the wall fell down flat, the people. The wall fell down flat, so that the people went up into the city, every man straight before him, and they took the city. And they utterly destroyed all that was in the city, both man and woman, young and old, and ox and sheep, and ass with the edge of the sword. So verse 21 says that they killed everything and everyone, young and old, woman and man. And they killed every ox and sheep. And yeah. But Joshua had said unto the two men that had spied out the country, go into the harlot's house, and bring out thence the woman, and all that she hath, as ye swear unto her. So those two spies that Rahab had saved from the beginning, Joshua commanded those exact two spies to go and rescue Rahab from all the havoc that the Israelites were wreaking. Wreaking havoc. Yeah. That's a word. Okay. But Joshua said unto the two men. And okay, verse 23. And the young men that were spies went in and brought out Rahab and her father and her mother and her brethren and all that she had. And they brought out all her kindred and left them without the camp of Israel. Okay, I'm going to go. Okay, that was verse 23. So this is something I didn't know. I thought it was only Rahab that was saved. But verse 23 says that Rahab and all her loved ones were saved also. All her kindred, her family. What does it say? And the young men that were spies went in and brought out Rahab and her father and her mother and her brethren and all that she had, and brought out all her kindred and left them without the camp of Israel. Yeah, everyone that she cared about, everyone that she loved, all her family and everything were saved. And they burnt the city with fire, and all that was therein. Only the silver and the gold and the vessels of brass and of iron they put into the treasury of the house of the Lord. And Joshua saved Rahab the harlot alive, and her father's household, and all that she had, and she dwelleth in Israel even unto this day, because she hid the messengers which Joshua sent to spy out Jericho. And Joshua adjured them that at that time, saying, accursed be the man before the Lord that riseth up and buildeth the city Jericho. He shall lay the foundation thereof in his firstborn, and his youngest son shall he set up the gates of it. So the Lord was with Joshua, and his fame was noised throughout all the country. So that's the story of the walls of Jericho. And what this oh yeah, yeah, if I didn't mention it at the beginning of the video, what inspired this video, the reason why I wanted to touch up on the walls of Jericho is because I sleep with the radio on, and I put it on the praise and worship station, and I sleep like that with the praise and worship station on. And there was this lady talking on the praise and worship station. Forgot her name, but she was using the walls of Jericho to support what she wanted to say. And she was saying that the longer you prolong and procrastinate the dreams and passions and desires that God has given you, the more that evil will abound. And the example that she used was the Israelites walking around the city of Jericho. Kind of like, what if they didn't feel like walking around the city today? They were tired. They were tired of walking around the city. I mean, it could have happened, and what if that happened? Then evil will we wouldn't be here, and Jesus' bloodline would have been cut off. Yeah, I mean, like, if that had happened, evil would have abounded, but it didn't, and they didn't get tired. They did everything to the T. They had a purpose, and the purpose was to walk around the city once every day for 6 days, and 7 times on the seventh day, and shout along with the trumpets. That was their purpose. That was their mission. And yeah, that's that's why I wanted to bring up the walls of Jericho, because that's what she was. She was going over the walls of Jericho to support what she was saying about pursuing passions and God-given passions and dreams and stuff. Anyway, that's this is the walls of Jericho take two. All right, stay blessed and thank you for watching.